Big win tonight, 5-1 Ram. Give me your thoughts on that performance.
Comfortable. I think that's the best word to say. It was really comfortable, very professional, and very solid. I think every single player that played on that page played to a very good level, especially given the fact that we played absolutely poorly against you lot. I'm still a little bit pissed about that. We still got the job done at the end of the day. Look, we're through to the semi-final. That's the most important thing. And if there's anything that we can gain from this, is confidence. Szoboszlai gets a goal. A very, very, very good goal. Curtis Jones, which we'll get on to later. And obviously, most importantly, is both Gakpo getting a goal and also Darwin Núñez having a decent performance. Because the one thing that forward line needs is confidence, because they haven't been performing for the last couple of games. So, all in all, good day out at Anfield, in my opinion.
Certainly was a good day at Anfield. Yourself, Sam, do you agree with that? Really good confidence booster ahead of the game against Arsenal. You know, for the Gakpos, Darwin, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, a lot of players who maybe haven't been at their best recently, all turning up today.
This is probably one of our best performances this season. I know West Ham were poor, but there was in this game. It told me a lot. We looked a lot more fluid. Even if our strikers didn't score, we were getting in behind a lot of the times, and we were creating a lot of chances. I mean, it got to a point where we had like 15 shots, and then West Ham had none. So, like, this is probably one of the best. For me, it's up there with Aston Villa when we beat them 3-0 at home. Very convincing. Our defense was good. The midfield was good. And the attack was good. So all around, this has given me a little bit of confidence for Arsenal on Saturday. But I will, when we get later on, I'll get into what I saw the differences, and it's actually proved my point from actually last season.
So yeah, go on, jump into the differences. What do you see as being different now, my bro? Yeah, it's a great segue.
So, sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I noticed that you put man of match for you is Szoboszlai. Now, there's a reason why Szoboszlai played so well, and it looked like he was a lot more free in this game. I believe it's because Trent wasn't inverted. Now, the reason why I said that, it was my hypothesis from last season when I said I understand that this run that we were on at the back of the last season was because of our Trent inverting and Klopp changing the tactics to suit what we had at hand. But I said, going into next season, I feel like we should go back to the 4-3-3 once we get the midfielders we need. Today has showed us we went back to that 4-3-3, and the midfielders that we have at hand, we don't need to do this Trent inverted thing. Actually, for me, I'm going to say this. Against Arsenal, play Joe Gomez right back and put Trent as DM along with Curtis Jones. It will give us more balance in the midfield, because with Trent inverted into the midfield, what it does is that Szoboszlai is moving like a bodyguard for Trent, because obviously Trent is being alleviated from his defensive duties. However, we need somebody to cover for Trent. So Szoboszlai is running around doing a lot of things that really he's not showing his talent in the midfield while he's covering for Trent. But once we go back to the 4-3-3, and if we put Trent as the DM along with Curtis Jones, what it allows for Szoboszlai to do is actually, you see the performance of what you saw today. He's a lot more freer. He can link up better, and actually he can actually roam because he's got the defensive protection behind him. Trent behind it as well. And I know Trent didn't start, but Trent can actually spray balls, play, do what he can do. And the flow of the game for Liverpool in attacking sense is a lot more free and flexible. But yeah, that's what I saw from today.
I hear that. What do you make of that, Ram? Do you agree in terms of Szoboszlai was better because Trent wasn't inverting almost in his way? And if so, what do you do for Saturday's game?
It's an interesting point. It's a very interesting point. I kind of like it, but I think there is also one factor you also have to take into account. I think the one thing that Szoboszlai benefits from is having Curtis Jones next to him. Now, everyone knows people don't like Curtis Jones, especially certain people don't like him in the team. One thing that he's good at and he's actually quite commendable, is that he can almost be like a sacrificial lamb to make other players better. And that's what he's done. So at the start of the season when he was starting, it was no coincidence why we're winning all these games, because he was basically doing the dirty work and doing the not stylistically pleasing work, the stuff that you'll get into good positions, keep play ticking, all that kind of stuff he was doing. And it allowed Szoboszlai to get into those advanced positions, and it allowed Trent to do what he could do. So it's multiple things needed for that to happen. But when he said like Trent to be in midfield, I'd love to see Trent in midfield. You know, I'd like to see a Kimmich situation, take him from right back, put him in midfield. But I think if that's got to work, you've got to have Curtis Jones next to him, because he's the only player capable of doing that sacrificial work. Because Gravenberch is a maverick. He likes to have the ball. It's almost a little bit like the Gerrard Lampard situation. Like, you got two players who want to have the ball, who have different styles of play, but they just don't work together. And I think it's a sort of similar situation, but we have a player that can actually make both players look better.
Do you think Ram? Yeah, go on, Sam. Go on, bro. Go on.
I know. I just wanted to jump quickly on that, and this is why I said so. Not Szoboszlai. Like I said, Curtis Jones next to Trent. Now, to be fair, if you don't play Trent, you play Endo, you play McAllister, you can play. It still proves the point, actually, because I said this before. I didn't rate Curtis Jones before, but one thing I said in the beginning of the season is that I've seen Curtis Jones improve. And the improvement that he's made is that statistically, if you look at it, he's actually been one of Liverpool's most important players in the way that we retain possession, defending, and actually going forward. Now, I understand the Man City game, he had a terrible game, and he had to be taken off. But the thing with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch is that they're too similar in that they're very attacking centre mids, and they want to go forward, which leaves our CDM kind of in no man's land. What Curtis Jones does is that he kind of stays back a little bit and he goes forward. He can do that number 8 role, and he's a little bit more stabilized. Not trying to say that he's better than Gravenberch. Gravenberch is a baller, but when it's Gravenberch and Szoboszlai, there's a little bit of an unbalance in the midfield.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from. Look, Curtis Jones was excellent tonight. I thought his overall performance was great. Has he played him? I mean, you guys kind of want Trent in the middle, but do you think he's played himself into the starting lineup against Arsenal tonight? Sky have officially given him the man of the match. Do you think he's played himself into the first team, Ram?
I wouldn't say he played himself into the first team, but I'll still stand by what I'm saying. I just don't think Szoboszlai and Gravenberch works. I don't think they're the two type of players that works. And Jones people forget Jones was very good at the start of the season. Let's not get twisted. He was very, very good. Like, he was a key component of why we were winning all our games. And I think there's a stat that we haven't lost a game when he started 90 minutes. I think the only games we dropped points was against Tottenham, which he got sent off for, and Man City, which he got taken off after injury. So it's not the fact that he's been putting stinkers out. It's just that he's just been injured and he's lost that little bit of form. So if it's a case that we can run him back into form, then 100%. If he's match sharp and he's ready, I'll put him in, because it'll just make everyone else better. And if everyone else is better, Liverpool are better, and we have a higher chance of winning the football match. That's how I see it.
Listen, absolutely. In terms of the rest of this competition now, Sam, we're going to see the draw momentarily. But on paper, Chelsea are the hardest team left in it. I mean, if you actually look at the league table this year, actually, I swear Fulham are above them. I could be lying. No, Fulham are just below them. So Chelsea, they're just above them, actually. So Chelsea are 10th, Fulham are 11th, and then you've got a mid-table championship team. You should be supremely confident from this point of, going on to win it.
No, 100%. I'm supremely confident. One thing I will say, like, against Chelsea, if you get drawn against Chelsea, even if it's in the semi-final or in the final, one thing about Chelsea, I've always said this, and Ram even said this before, Chelsea are one of our bogey teams. It's like it doesn't matter how good we are and how crap Chelsea are, they always somehow manage to get a draw against us. Like, I think our past games have been draw. So that's the only game I would say we need to be on tip-top shape. However, I will say this: I'm supremely confident. And you know me, Terry. I'm all about trophies. I just want to get away from Man United with the total trophy count. So I expect us to win the League Cup. I expect us to win the Europa League, and hopefully we'll do good things in the Premier League as well. But I just want to go away and be the supreme successful team in England.
Yeah, listen, that's why I was saying earlier, like, it doesn't really matter about, you've had a relatively easy cup run. Last year we played, Forest and Charlton and Burnley, and Villa was probably the hardest game in the running, who we played last year. And it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, all I want is the trophies. The trophies, because at the end, that's all you want. It is the semis are two-legged. It's an interesting one, because I was saying to Chelsea fans last night, if I was Chelsea, and I get you mean with bogey team, if I was a Chelsea fan, or if Man United were in this, I'd rather get you in the semis over two legs than in a one-off game. So I feel like Chelsea have got more chance of beating you over two legs, because you might be at Anfield first of all, and you only win 1-0. Then they can do it. Or I feel like in a one-off game now, with how everything is, I just don't see them beating you. Does that make sense? So, but equally, if they get Fulham's a tough one. You both really are going to want Middlesbrough, aren't you, in the semis? You're both going to want Michael Carrick's Middlesbrough. That's what everyone's hoping for.
Oh yeah, I think it's the semi-finals are in like January, February. Like, we've already got too many games playing in that time, and I think Europa League is just around the corner from there as well. So easiest tie for me, Middlesbrough. I'll be very happy with that. I'm with you, Terry. I don't subscribe to the who we played during the finals is a good thing just to add on top, but honestly, no one cares about it. It's just getting that trophy at the end of the day. And look, the expectation from myself, I don't know about Sam, winning Europa League and winning a domestic trophy. And now that domestic trophy should be won, because we are outright favourites compared to everyone else, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, I totally get you. Gerrard's Villa at Old Trafford was easy. Just to let you know, it was Unai Emery's Aston Villa who only a few days prior beat us at their ground. So again, see, in the pursuit of trolling, you got your facts wrong, my G. Oh, brother. You got that one wrong, didn't you, me old mucker? We'll leave that up there for a while. But there we go. What if we get smashed by Middlesbrough? Sack Klopp, innit? If you get beat by Middlesbrough with two legs, you got a sack Klopp. You got it.
No excuses.
I feel like you need to have a look.
You always sack Klopp, but yeah, but it'll be very embarrassing. It'll be very, very embarrassing.
It's just not gonna happen. It genuinely is not gonna happen. When was he sacked? I don't know exactly the date that he was sacked, but Unai Emery was appointed on the 25th or 26th of October. And I swear in their very first game, they beat Man United in the league. And then we had a midweek in the Carabao Cup and we beat them 4-2.
Well,
I could be wrong. Or maybe we played them in the Carabao Cup then in the league. I know we played them pretty much back-to-back last year. But yes, it wasn't Gerrard's team. So there we go.